Hello, cyber friends, and welcome back. November is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and as you know, I did make a video asking you to leave some questions down in the comments regarding Ghillie Dhu and epilepsy so that I could answer them for you. So a question that we had in our comments on that video was, how did you first discover your dog had epilepsy? Well, the short answer is after he had a seizure. He had a seizure at 3:45 in the morning. Yes, I will always remember that. It was a Friday. It was Memorial Day weekend that year. And he had a seizure, like I said, at 3:45 in the morning. We then stayed up with him until 8 o'clock so that we could then call our vet to see what they wanted to do. Our vet at that point said, one seizure does not epilepsy make. Just log it and keep a log, and then if there's more, then we can come in and we can talk about possibility of Ghillie having epilepsy. Well, I wasn't particularly happy with that, but that's what their protocol is. So I made an appointment for the following week just to take him in, just to make sure that everything else was okay, that this wasn't just a one-off thing. Maybe he was having some other issues or whatever. Well, about 10 o'clock in the morning on that same day, he had another seizure. So I called the vets back and said, hey, he's having another seizure. Now do you want me to bring him in? And they said, well, now it sounds like he's having cluster seizures, which means that more than one seizure in 24 hours. So now you need to take him to the emergency room. Okay, so off to the emergency room we went, and while we were there, they ran some tests on him. He wasn't actively seizing at the time, so we had to wait a little while in the parking lot before he could go in. It was unfortunately COVID time, so I had to send him in on his own. I was not allowed to go in with him. So they went in, they observed him for a while, they ran some tests on him, and they said, well, given his age, given his breed, it's a very good possibility that he has epilepsy. So they gave me the name of a few neurologists in the area, and they recommended that I start him on some medication. So we started him on some medication that day, and then I was able to get him to the neurologist's office the following week, and we went in, and again, I was not allowed to go in with him. I had to send Ghillie in by himself. They looked him over, they called me on the phone, we chatted, I told my story about noticing, when he had the seizures, and he had not had any since then, so we were 7 days at this point, 7 days since his last one, 10 days, because it was a weekend when when he first had it, and then it was a Monday when I got to go in. So we chatted about it, and they said, again, given his age, given his breed, that he most likely had idiopathic epilepsy, meaning seizures of unknown origin. So I did say that I wanted him to have some more testing done, and they did do an MRI on him. They did find that in his brain, they have these things called ventricles in your brain. One of his ventricles, the lateral ventricle, I'd have to look up what side, but one of his ventricles was slightly enlarged, which could indicate some brain swelling. But again, given his age, given his size, they didn't think that that had anything to do with the seizures, that that's just how he's made, and that he just has epilepsy. So they gave me a prescription for more medication, and with instructions to call them if he had any more seizures, and that we would then check in with the neurologist in 6 months. So Ghillie was diagnosed with epilepsy, like I said, just before his 2nd birthday. I think I said that in another video. He was diagnosed just before his 2nd birthday in 2021 after having a couple of seizures, and going to the neurologist and having some special tests done. We thank you for your question. If there are more questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. Epilepsy Awareness Month is November, but for us, epilepsy is all year round. So if you are seeing this video and it is not November, please feel free to leave a question, and I will do my best to get it answered for you regardless of the time of year. Okay, cyber friends, thanks so much for your question, and we'll see you in the next video.